Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about my wish list for upcoming Zenkais. Now, my video is going to have literally no merit on the current meta or standing of the game or the way that things are currently. Like if I say I want to see 20 Sun Family characters Zenkai, then damn it, I want to see 20 Sun Family characters Zenkai, and I don't care. Let me just tone it down. And I don't care about how many Sun Family characters are ruining the game currently for a lot of people. That's not the point of today's video. Today's video is just more or less a discussion video. I thought it would be a fun topic. Be sure to join in and let me know in the comments down below which characters you guys would like to see Zenkai awaken sometime soon. Now, there are still a number of older characters in the game that have not received Zenkais, like, I don't know, like Green Piccolo, like Yellow Pikkon, who actually, Yellow Pikkon is one I was considering putting on my list, but I didn't. There's a number of really old ones, like also like Blue Pan. I actually want to see her Zenkai as well. These are characters that have been in the game since like launch, literally, that still haven't Zenkai awoken, and I think it's criminal. The characters that are oldest in the game, once upon a time, were the ones that were getting the Zenkais immediately, but that's not been the case for a while. So hopefully they do kind of give those characters some love at some time sooner than later. So those are just a few of them, but there are some others. Now, for the first one I want to see, I'm throwing out Super Vegeta. So again, no merit whatsoever on what is currently meta viable or anything like that. This is just a fun discussion video. I don't care that Super Saiyans are ridiculously like powerful right now because Bardock exists, I guess, once again with the Zenkai. So that being said, Super Vegeta, like, it's been so long since I've been able to use this character in any way, and I think he could be an awesome blast character. I think Super Vegeta with the Zenkai might be like an incredible character overall, just in general. Now, if you take a look at the landscape of, I'm not really going to focus much on meta, but I will focus on competition among colors and characters. Like if you look at Yellow Saiyans, there is some competition, most notably from another Vegeta, right? This is, you know, he's quite good, right? So Saiyan teams and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit tough to use him on some of those setups that you'd want to use. Maybe Vegeta family as well. You also have the Zenkai SSG Vegeta kind of floating around on these teams as well if you really wanted to go that far. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the way that this dude is currently built. He has no effect here. To give this dude the ability to get ki at least, give him ki, give him the ultimate damage up as well, make him just a monster, right? This dude has the final flash. He should be so powerful. Just in my mind, I just think Super Vegeta's got to be powerful because this scene was so epic for me when I watched it as a kid. It was just like ridiculous, man. It was so ridiculous. And also, by that same merit as well, Super Trunks that came out alongside him. I want to see him Zenkai too, but he's not on my list. Blast damage increases according to the number of counts elapsed with the current character, up to 70%. His stats are so trash this doesn't matter, but 70% was ridiculous once upon a time. You had to leave him out there for 15 counts, but 70%. Could you imagine what they could do with this dude nowadays? He has an Intimidate effect, incredibly uncommon. Inflicts the attribute downgrade plus 20% blast damage received for 10 counts every time he enters the battlefield. Whatever. But like, could you imagine like the ability to gain like supporting effects like Vegeta family typically has, where they have a lot of supporting effects across the board? He might have something similar as a damage dealer, like the Red Trunks and they're a damage dealer technically, but they have supporting attributes. Also, like, this dude is not even not a support type, but he also has a lot of supporting effects. He's a ranged character. Anyways. So, yeah, they can do a lot with this dude, and hopefully they do decide to give him a Zenkai Awaken. The only thing that's, again, meta capable, though, is that crit damage buff. It's like, this is ridiculous. Like, don't give people a reason to go back to using this dude on their benches. So don't do that. So I want to see the One Punch Man Goku. There's a couple of Gokus like this dude in the game that I want to see Zenkai, but the sagas from the movies, Blue Goku, I remember when this dude released, he was so hype, so hype. Came out in 2018, I believe. That's when the game came out, but I believe he was like one of the first, like, back then they would have the banners, and there were set pools, right? There was the Ultra Space Time Summon banner pool where you had like your typical not as good characters, I guess, and you had like your Legends Rising. Was it Legends Rising? I believe it was Legends Rising. We haven't seen that freaking banner type in like a year now. And those characters were typically separated, right? And this dude was so powerful. He was on that banner, and I just was so hyped to get him. So for me personally, there's a lot that kind of goes back there. But I do like the design that he has of being able to do that one card, that one blue card that's super powerful, and spamming the green cards to get the blue card to be, again, mega powerful. You got to think about it. The green card can give him, if he's by himself in the last man standing role, plus 50% to the blue card damage, and then also the blue card just naturally has plus 50% to the blue card damage here anyway upon activation. Like, give this dude blast armor. Oh my god, blast armor, that's gonna be ridiculous. Also, make it to where he doesn't need to be the last man standing. I get it, I get why he's built that way, but at least give him some viability early game, or when he's, again, not the only one out there, and he's fine. He draws a blue card here. He gets key recovery. Key recovery is really good, but if he had the ability to get just flat 50 key, that'd be so much better. I don't think they've changed a unique like this where they completely remove like key recovery and replace it with actual key, but if they want to do that for the first time, that'd be good. Bonus damage to Broly's, that's not going anywhere, I guess, but it's kind of irrelevant. You know what they could do? They Zenkai'd that red Broly who had a unique for where he was able to do bonus damage to Vegeta and Goku, right? And they changed it to just Saiyans. I mean, you could do something like that and make him a lot better. If I recall correctly, anyway, it's been a while since I've read his kit, and his two uniques are just when he's the last man out here. So, like, he doesn't do anything. They're all crisis stuff. He doesn't do anything else. Incredibly old character. I think he could be really interesting if they gave him the ability to function in an earlier setting of the game. Speaking of Goku, we have transforming Kaioken Goku. This dude actually, funnily enough, at complete 14-star post-transformation, he still has some pretty decent stats. He's got 260,000 strike attack. That just shows you how ahead of his time he was in terms of the way that this was built. This stat spread is really, it's really not bad for a non-Zenkai character. It's not top tier, but they're really, really good stats overall. Post-transformation. Another thing he really does that's pretty good in here is he has a debuff in here somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. I don't want to kind of go through this too much. I believe it was downgrade to the opponents where they took more damage. Obviously, it's a debuff. It's in here somewhere. I'm not seeing it, but it's in here somewhere, if I recall correctly. He has a vanish gauge recovery, which is really good. Okay, I'm not gonna just do this forever, but I'm pretty sure it's in here. If I'm wrong or I'm mistaken, forgive me. But yeah. The debuffs that he was, there it is, there's one right here. The debuffs he was applying was really cool. And one thing that's really cool that they did with this dude, again, he had so much vanish gauge restoration and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool to see, just get this dude just constantly vanishing, right? And then there was also that one equip down here that gives the Goku characters, this one right here, that gives all Goku characters in the game bonus vanishing gauge, right? So that would be actually really good at him still to this day. But his green card did change his blue card into the ×4 Kamehameha. The only downside with that is once you pop that one, you reduce your health by 50% and forcibly cancel your own transformation on hit. See, this is back when the game really tried to be cute with these unique abilities and be anime accurate, for a lack of a phrase there, and try to make these characters feel special. Nowadays, you just get a book for your uniques, you get a book for your main ability, you get a 20-page essay for each special move or green card effect. Like, you get a bunch of text in there, so the characters are quite good, but it just feels like to me sometimes they're still able to capture that same representation, but they don't get it as often the same way that they did here. Now, if you really want to argue whether or not this is actually a good effect, because it's not, it's not, this is horrible. Forcing yourself out of the transformation, reducing your own HP by 50% is horrible. This card better one-shot at least 2 of the opponent's 3 characters for this drawback, right? But like, you want to argue that's fine, but like, they don't, I just in my mind don't capture it. They just don't capture it the way they once did. Let me know what you guys think on that topic. Speaking of blue characters, why not keep the train going? We got Blue Krillin, boys. So Blue Krillin is interesting. He's another ranged character that has some supporting attributes. They've been doing this for a long time, where they've been giving ranged, or I guess melee to a degree, but mainly ranged characters the ability to have some supporting effects. So he has that, plus 20% of damage inflicted by allies when he switches out. And the reason why this is important, and it was important for that purple Vegeta I talked about, the Super Saiyan Blue Future one, what happens is when they have the attribute of a damage type character, or even a defense type, their stats get normalized accordingly, as opposed to being a support character where you're just kind of middling across the board in stats. That's just kind of what happens with them. So that just means that they're maybe a little squishy. They don't maybe do as much damage. You have more damage potential when you have a ranged character that can do really good supporting effects, right? So restores his own health by 10% and ki by 60. It's still pretty good. The ki is overkill, but if he got like draw speed, I wouldn't be upset. And he also restores allies' health by 20% and cancels attribute downgrades. So he heals himself by 30% because anytime you see ally, it's himself as well. That's how the game equates for that word. So he heals himself by 30% total and 60% ki, and cancels attribute downgrades. Like that's actually still a really good effect to have. 30% HP and 20 for your allies, but 30 for yourself and 60 ki while also canceling everybody's downgrades. It's really good. Minus 100% to ki recovery is a massive FU effect that we've seen quite a number of times with characters like Whis. It's really annoying, actually, really annoying. So it's cool. This is really not a bad main ability by today's standards. It's just not. It's just not. There could be more, but it's just not bad. Plus 35% his own health restoration if Goku's a battle member. He could heal a lot if he's with a Goku. He popped that senzu bean real quick, man. So he does need to be alongside a Goku, but there needs to be more in here other than just the health restoration. Maybe he gives Goku a specific buff or whatever, right? Like we've seen some other Krillins do. Plus 20% of damage inflicted by allies for 20 counts when he switches to standby. So one thing I did once upon a time was I'd use him with blue 18 and purple SS3 Goku with the blue-purple team. This is eons ago, before Zenkais existed, eons ago. I've been playing the game for over like 1,400 days or something like that. Eons ago, I'm not joking. Whatever the max number is on how long I've been playing the game since it literally came out overseas first before it came out here. Anyways, so yeah. So I used to do that forever ago and it was incredibly fun, and Krillin was healing a ton, right? And the supporting effect was awesome to see. The Fusion Blast here is an AoE attack, does boost his own crit rate. That's not crit damage, but he'll still crit more often. And then he has a Solar Flare. Krillin, I believe, actually got a balance change once upon a time. Am I mistaken? Didn't this Krillin get a balance change once upon a time? I believe he did, back when they were still doing that, though. I might be mistaken, but I think they did give him a balance change, because I don't remember the Solar Flare being full screen. It might have been, but I believe they added that in. Anyways, he does the Solar Flare, which does flash effects, so still pretty good for a stun. Yeah, Krillin could be interesting. I want them really to lean into the blast type, though. Like, when he enters the battlefield, give him a massive blast buff for, even if it's like a 10 or 15 counts, that's perfect, right? And then still, when he subs out, give him the ability to also do something else. They probably won't add in ki, but maybe lean more into the healing attribute, like heal allies 3 times only or 2 times only by like 10% HP, right? That'd be perfect. Another character that has a very, very specific kit that needs a Zenkai really badly is Gohan here. So Gohan is interesting. He has a very, very good green card battery. He generates a ton of green cards, but I think it's criminal to have a character that needs to have this ramp up mechanic that he has and build up process, and not have those effects be cancelable by today's standards, right? Or have them be non-cancelable, excuse me. They have to be uncancelable effects. Like, I used him maybe last year, and I was using him in a more, obviously Zenkai's existed, in a more modern format, and he just, it took a long time to get him built up, and this, all of it, it just all went away. It just all went away. So all these characters need some variation of it, because that's just the way that the game is now. But a character like him, it's criminal. He really needs it. But he does have the ability to draw an ultimate. He has cover rescue as well. And he also can do +1, so he can do 2 cover rescues. So that's pretty awesome. There's only a few characters in the game that can pull it off more than once. So there's that. The following effects occur anytime he evades an attack. He draws a green and gets a slight damage buff. If they wanted to give him the ability to also restore some ki here, that'd be pretty awesome to keep the combo going. You see this effect pretty often on characters nowadays, varying degrees of this type of effect where when they vanish, they get some sort of buff. And that would lean more heavily into like fishing for perfect vanishes and stuff like that. Again, he has the ability to do the cover rescue. He gets strike damage buff for that as well. I want him to, he's a melee type. I want him to get draw speed very, 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 very badly. I want him to get draw speed very badly. They could give it to him when he vanishes. That's not particularly ideal in my opinion. I just want it for free on entry. But I want him to get draw speed very badly, and I want his effects to be non-cancelable. And last but not least, Burst Rush needs to be freaking blast armored. It needs to have blast armor. Pretty much, for the record, I am of the mind that pretty much every like ultimate nowadays needs to have blast armor. I think it's criminal. I can do without having the blue cards have it sometimes, but I think every ultimate nowadays, it's just, they just need it. That's just how it is. So yeah, they need to have blast armor there, and that's pretty much it. There's more they could do, obviously, but I want to kind of move on to our last character. That's Super Saiyan God Goku. Definitely holds a special spot in my heart, man. When he came out, it was the introduction of God Ki just in general in the game. It was really cool to see. He was the jack of all trades, Mr. Well-Rounded when he came out. Still, obviously, he's built that way. He doesn't really excel at any one thing in particular, but he was really cool. We also got our first, nowadays, they're called Legends Limited characters. Back then, Beerus was not called that, as far as I recall. Legends Limited. Might have been Legends Limited, but no Legendary Finish. I don't believe that those terms existed until Gohan came in as the next character, because even Gohan like had the ticket exclusivity, but was the first one to introduce the Legendary Finish, not Beerus. Beerus has got added in like a year ago, like forever ago, so forever after his release, excuse me. So he was a meme for a while, right? But I met Dino in person, Rhyme Style, for the first time, and we did some summons when these dudes came out, and that was so awesome. So like for me, I want to see it. Also, like God Ki really needs a red. I assume that they're gonna drop Fusion Zamasu and make him the corrupted one, make him the red here, and or Zenkai Red Rose or SSG Goku. Like there's options here, and they're purposely avoiding dropping a red for that team, so I assume that's gonna happen. But he has all these immunities. That's pretty awesome. Key recovery up. You could, if you want to see how they could build him, just go look at Beerus. I mean, Beerus is nothing like special anymore. He's still pretty decent, but he's nothing special like he once was. Like being the best character in the game, for example. But you can look at Beerus for a pretty apt comparison of how they can build this dude and still have him be pretty good. He has a couple other things here, like being a last man is a part of his kit. And he also has the ability to cancel buffs. Dragon Smash, please give blast armor, thank you. But to be fair, he does have this one here, Limit Breaker, so maybe that one would be the one that would get it. They're both dash forwards. But anyways, that's going to do it, everyone. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to see get a Zenkai in the game. Again, there's a number of characters that are deserving, but there can only be so many. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.